How you doing, guys? I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today I wanted to do a video on Kingdom Warfare Cybertron Blaster. This is a long-awaited figure for my collection. Matter of fact, this is the only version of Blaster I currently own. I do not have any of the prior versions. So it's really cool to finally have this in my collection. As you guys can see, he's still in the box. Really cool Kingdom packaging, still with the plastic window. And you guys can see Blaster here running around. Here he is in his Boombox mode. And again, this is part of the Kingdom line. Really cool. Standard artwork for all the Kingdom figures. And then on the back, here's Blaster in all his glory with his weapon. And you also get Eject, which is one of the cassettes that he came with. I believe he also had Rewind, Ramhorn, and Steeljaw, at least from what I can remember. So very similarly to Soundwave and Rumble, Frenzy, Laserbeak, and Ravage, and all those Rat-Bat, etc. But really cool. I'm glad to finally have this in my collection. I got this via Big Bad Toy Store. And I'm finally glad it came in. So he's still in the box. We'll rip this open and then get into the figure. Alright guys, so here is Blaster out of the box. Finally had a chance to take him out and play around with him. Really cool figure. So glad we're finally getting a modern version in this line, in this Kingdom, and I think he's also in Legacy. But I think they've done an awesome job. I think oftentimes with these newer figures, particularly with the Studio 86, we tend to call these like mini masterpiece, and I think in this case it's a bit appropriate. This is a really cool toy. I think it's very accurate to what was in the cartoons, and there's a lot of nice detail put in the toy there. You could see in the back there's a lot of sculpting there. Really cool. The legs, really nice back here. Part of the transformation. There is some hollowness here. I don't mind that too much. But it's really cool. The yellow here, it's painted up really nicely. I believe this is the clear plastic painted yellow, but it's done really, really well. And this can open. We have Eject already in there, so he fits. The face is really well done. I think maybe some light piping would have been nice, but again, I don't mind it too much. One of his hands has his finger thing, which I'm assuming it's meant to, so he could press his button here to open his chest. But it's really cool. The gray, the black, the red. Again, I think this is a great job on this figure, and you get your great articulation. The joints are pretty they're tight. They're not too tight, but they're just, I think they're just right, at least on my copy. So you get this shoulder, elbows, they turn completely around. The hands do go in slightly. They also go out, but that's part of the transformation. And there is some hollowness here again on this hand, but not a big deal for me. The legs, he does a full split. If that's your thing, there you go. He can also kick forward and bend this at 90 degrees. Really cool. And these legs also do turn. Again, part of the transformation, but you have that option. And there's these ankle rockers here on both sides. Really, really cool. I love this figure. I think it's a great job again. It's so awesome to finally have a Blaster in my collection. As I've said earlier, this is my one and only Blaster that I own. I don't have the older versions that have been released of Blaster, so it's really cool to finally have this in my collection. In the box, you also get his gun, which some nice detailing there. Really cool. You also get this, I guess, sticker / trading card, and I think inside is Dynamis, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I just kind of put these away. I guess they're kind of cool. And there's Predacon. So you get that, you get his weapon, and just the instructions. Not too involved. There are some neat little steps here and there. The other part of this figure is you get eject, which is one of his cassettes, which fits in there as you guys can see. Clear blue plastic, really cool. And we could probably start the transformation with this guy, which is fairly simple. You kind of just pull the legs down on both sides. Just pull this out and you kind of just turn them forward. So it looks like that. And then the arms, you kind of just pull down and turn forward, pull down and turn. And the last thing would be the head, which you have to pull out, turn, and then you just turn it forward. This is a cool little representation of this guy. I wish his legs could have been slightly longer. He looks a little squat, or it may be that his forearms are so huge. Also, he's clear blue plastic, but he doesn't look bad at all. It's a neat little figure that you could stand next to him just like that. And the weapon, of course, he can hold in either hand, if that's your thing. And then I'll try and go through the transformation as quickly as I can, but it's pretty cool. So essentially, first thing to do would be to open this back panel all the way and turn the head all the way in, and then just close it. Next thing would be the arms. So just move these up and essentially take these hands on both ends and turn them this way. So once you've done that, you're going to then take the forearm essentially, and separate it from the arm. And on my copy, like if you notice here, fairly easy. There is a tab that's supposed to hold it in place, but in mine, at least on this arm, it just comes off pretty quickly, and you kind of just turn it like this. And then once you do that, make sure this is now facing out, so it looks like that, and then you can pull it down. And the same thing needs to be done here. On my copy, this arm, the tab, it's pretty strong in there, so I have to use a bit of force to get it out. There's again, this tab that's supposed to grab into there, but essentially you're doing the same thing. You're turning this up so it points up, and then just do that. The next thing then that we could do is the legs. Just push the front of the feet in like that. The speakers here, you push them in, they actually swivel, and you do that. And then once you're done like this, the next thing to do is turn the whole thing around so that it's facing like this, and move this up. Give it a bit of space. So just move that up, and then on the legs here, there's these panels. You open them up, and then you flip this up. Same thing here. You open this panel up, flip this up. I noticed that on my copy on this side, there's some stress marks already, so I would just be a little careful with moving these. And then once we're here, essentially there is sections on these arms, and I don't know if you could see it. There's a section there for a tab right here where my thumb is pointing, and that's where this tab here that I'm pointing at goes into there. So essentially you're going to take these legs, turn them this way so that it's facing and up. You're going to try then to get that tab into that section there. So you just have to play around with it until you get it. Yep, it's in now for me. Same thing here. On this side, you're going to turn this essentially, and the same thing. You have to try to get that tab into that section there of the arm. If I can, yep, here we go. Now, the instructions then instruct you to lock this panel in down into here. There's tabs. But I found that if you do that, the next step is folding these legs in, and it kind of gets in the way, at least for me. So I don't lock it in place till I'm kind of done. So the next thing I do is sort of pivot this whole section up and slightly pull it towards me, and the arms are kind of gonna fit in there. So, and then once that's in, there's a tab in here. You just push it in. Again, as I said, leave this still open, and same thing here. You're just gonna fold these in, and I don't know if you see it, but there's the tab here goes into this section here. And as you do that, just put that in, and now you can lock this section in. And as you guys can see, this thing's coming together pretty nicely. The last step is pulling these out, pull that out, and essentially this is the handle. And you kind of just join that in place, and it's done. Here is this is what I call a boombox. You know, this is way back in the day. You would put a cassette tape in here, and it would play your music. They came in various sizes. Some were really big, some were small. You could carry them around. Some people would carry them in their shoulders. So it's a really nice callback. So this is pretty much Blaster, right, from the cartoon and from the movie. I think they did an awesome job putting this toy together. The bottom, you know, I guess you could see all that, but this guy's going to be sitting like that if you have him in that mode, so it doesn't matter. And the back, I think, is done well enough that, you know, most of us are not going to display our toy like that. The other cool thing is you could take this weapon, and you'll notice there's a tab here, and you can tab that into the back for storage if you like to keep there. And as I said earlier, as you saw, you can take eject here and essentially just transform him back. You kind of just move these arms in. You take these legs, fold them in. Pretty simple transformation, and you just take the head, turn it, and then fold it back down so that it looks like that. And just make sure everything's nice and square. And there's a cassette mode that then goes into here. And there you go. There is Blaster with eject. Nothing much else to say about this mode. It's really, really cool. It's a nice little boombox, little callback to the 80s or whenever these things were around. Yeah, great job again. I do hope that Hasbro does a masterpiece version of this guy. They could use this smaller version as a template. Really cool. None of these buttons, dials work, but it's cool that they added the dials in there in this mode. You know, like I'm assuming volume and to the radio to tune the different stations, etc. The speakers. As I said, the handle on the side. It's really cool. Really, really great mode. The next thing we'll do is probably do some comparisons, probably mainly against his rival Soundwave. And then we'll go from there. But otherwise, thumbs up on this mode. It's really, really cool and nice and compact. Awesome alternate mode. So before we do the robot comparison, I wanted to do the comparison to Soundwave in this tape deck / cassette mode, so you could see them, if you're interested. Both of them together. Blaster is, again, slightly wider, but I would say Soundwave is a bit thicker from front to back just because of the transformation. And the transformation on Soundwave is not as clean as Blaster's. But I just want to show them both there so you guys could see them, and both of these sort of have the same gimmick here that the chest opens. And if you're wondering, this guy, eject from Blaster, does fit in Soundwave. You can close it. The only thing I ran into is when you press the, the eject button to open it, it kind of gets stuck. So you kind of need to slightly push this down before it opens all the way. Just in case that was something you were interested in. But it's really cool having these two little tape decks slash boombox here. Really awesome. This is the Netflix Soundwave that came out a while back. Really cool to have them both there together. And there's also a this is Siege Soundwave in what was supposed to be a fan mode. It's very haphazardly put together, but it's supposed to resemble this. So, again, for anyone that may be interested, this Siege Soundwave transformed into some kind of spaceship, from what I recall. But there you go. There's all three of them together. Blaster and the two different sound waves. Okay, guys, so here's Blaster back in his robot mode. Really cool looking toy again. And we can get started with the comparisons to the other figures that I have laying around my desk right now. And mainly, I guess right off the bat, here is Netflix Soundwave. Really cool to have them both together. This is the one that transforms into an actual tape deck mode. I just realized how much shorter he is, Soundwave, compared to Blaster here. Now I'm wishing this guy was maybe slightly taller, so they could be like eye to eye. I think as it stands right now, he's kind of looking up to him. But again, having these two toys is just really awesome. Finally having Blaster and Soundwave there. The other Soundwave that I do have is the Siege Soundwave, and just want to put him there so you guys can see him for comparison. It's kind of interesting. The Siege Soundwave looks a tad taller. It may just be me, but you guys could see them there for comparison. And again, they pair up pretty well. And we'll move these guys off to the side. I also have here he is next to Optimus, and Blaster is up there. He is just about the same size as Optimus there, just about. Again, probably just me not realizing that they were the same size, but there you go. Here is Jazz. So you guys could see the size comparison there. I think that's appropriate. Perhaps maybe Jazz is a tad smaller, but I don't mind that scale there. And again, this is, you guys could see the mixture there between a Kingdom figure, Earthrise, Kingdom, and Studio Series 86. I think these lines, they'll different names, but they all fit pretty well with each other. And then I also will put Optimus and Jazz off to the side here. And we also have, here's Perceptor. This is the Titans Returns figure from a couple of years back. And again, Blaster comes off looking pretty freaking big, tall here. I do have the newer version of this guy, the Studio Series 86 version that just came out. I haven't had a chance to open them. I'll probably do a different video for that guy, but just want to show the comparison there. And then in addition to Perceptor there, here he is standing next to Starscream. And again, he's also a bit taller than Starscream. You guys could see him there. Pretty cool. I think, again, the aesthetic all fills in really well. This is the Earthrise version in comparison to this Kingdom version. But really, really cool. I think he scales well. Maybe a tad taller. But yeah, this is a really cool figure. I would highly, highly recommend it. Again, you could make this into a... you can use this as a mold for a mini masterpiece at some point. I know that sounds so cliched saying now, but I think with these smaller toys at this price point, it's awesome to be able to see that they can bring this much detail and pretty accurate transformation there. But yeah, it's just awesome. I would highly recommend this. For anyone out there that may be interested in getting this, it's a really cool toy, really cool figure. It fits in really well with all the other, Studio Series 86, Earthrise, or whatever else you may have in your collection. I think he sort of fits in pretty well. It's Perceptor here. At least this one, he looks so comically small now. And, we'll have to see what the new version is like. But here he is. But again, as far as Blaster himself, awesome figure, thumbs up. If you get a chance to get him, I would definitely recommend him. It's a really, really, really cool toy. And I think that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave one. If not, I hope this was helpful to you. Enjoy the rest of your day and be safe out there. Take care.